Hey, welcome back. So, today I'm just going to be talking a little bit about dysfunctional patterns and how they may be working against you in your day to day life. Now, dysfunctional patterns are patterns that we tend to repeat in the way that we react to the world, or the way in which we engage with the world, or the way in which we engage with our relationships. And we may feel like as if life is kind of happening to us as opposed to happening for us. Whereas, in fact, we oftentimes have a subconscious role to play in what happens a lot of the time. It's just that we're not aware of it. And oftentimes we repeat patterns, we repeat ways of reacting, we repeat ways of engaging in relationships that we picked up on in childhood, despite the fact that we may have swore that we never repeat what happened in our family of origin. Oftentimes, because it's ingrained in our minds, because it's what we know, we tend to do it without even thinking about it. Now, the first thing is recognizing the fact that you are unhappy, that things aren't working for you, whether it be the way that you react to other people, your triggers, whether it be the way that you are in your relationship and your insecurities, or whether it be just your general sense of self-worth. And again, as I said, this is all stuff that is very much decided in our early life. It's not something that is our fault. It's not necessarily anyone's fault. It's just the way in which our childhood played out, that at some stage we felt that we were unworthy, or that we were unlovable, or that we just didn't feel completely secure. And as a result, we grow up thinking that the world is not necessarily a safe place, that it's not secure. We create ways of controlling things, either on an internal basis or externally, but trying to control other people in relationships, and we find ways of soothing ourselves that aren't necessarily good for us, whether it be food, drugs, alcohol, porn, whatever. It's just finding something to deal with emotions because we've never learned to deal with them fully. And also, it's about a way of kind of coping with the low levels of self-worth and the high levels of anxiety. That being said, these patterns can be fixed, but first of all, we have to become aware of them, and oftentimes it needs the help of somebody externally to help you, guide you through them, whether it be a therapist or whatever that knows what they're doing, that can help you identify the areas of your life that are no longer working for you, and the reasons, the patterns that you have created that have got you to this place. It's then about also compassionately recognizing the role that you have in maintaining these patterns. Oftentimes, we seek out people that will repeat what our childhood represented, despite the fact that our childhood was unhappy, or we'll seek out people who will trigger us in a certain way. It's like as if on a subconscious level, we need to fix the wound, but we're just not aware of the fact that we need to fix it, and we don't have the tools available to us. So it's about recognizing the role that you are playing in keeping yourself in that way of life. Once you recognize that, you can begin to heal the wounds. You can find a safe person in which to open up the old emotions that have been repressed for so long, and to deal with them in a healthy manner, process them and let them go. It's then about learning the skills to engage with the world in a new way, to engage in our relationships in a new way. And this involves learning skills like cognitive reappraisal, which is examining the way in which you think, looking at emotional regulation, which is examining the way in which you deal with strong emotional reactions. The thing is, once you have been wired to react a certain way, it can be quite difficult to change. However, once you can recognize that reaction and heal it yourself, learn to heal that inner child, that inner reaction, then you don't have to react so strongly, and you don't have to resort to the negative coping mechanisms that you would have used in the past. So building up those skills, building up stress tolerance, building up the ability to sit in discomfort as opposed to always trying to either run from it or fight it. It's about as well being very kind and compassionate to yourself in this process. It's not easy, you're basically taking apart all of what feels safe to you, because oftentimes when we've lived a certain way for a certain amount of time, it feels like home. So, trying to make ourselves happy in a calm, more regulated way of life feels completely alien to us. We actually feel safer when things are distressing, when we're in turmoil, because that's what we recognize from our childhood. And it's about changing that way of finding comfort. If any of this resonates with you, please feel free to get in touch on the website. It's fundamentals.ie, as this is something that I can help you with. Get in touch as well on Instagram or Facebook. The page is Fundamentals. And go check out, I do a podcast on iTunes and Spotify. It's called Touchy and Feely. I talk a lot about things like finding purpose, how to deal with negative emotions, how to deal with negative thinking patterns. All very interesting. It's with Neil O'Brien. A few laughs in there as well, so go check it out.